Why did all the nurses send this guy to the psych ward after he told his wife birth isn't painful? I was checking vitals on my patient Mary in the delivery room when her husband Grant's voice cut through the room like nails on glass. Jesus Christ, Mary. You're acting like you're the first woman to ever push out a baby. My mother had 4 kids and never made this much noise. I kept my face neutral as I adjusted her monitors, but my hand froze when he added, maybe if you'd stayed in shape like I told you, this wouldn't be so hard. You really let yourself go after the wedding. Mary's eyes filled with tears as she whispered for him to please stop, that she needed support right now. Then this absolute waste of oxygen actually laughed and said, support? I'm here to sign the birth certificate, aren't I? God, you're such a drama queen. No wonder my mom said you'd be a terrible mother. The room went so quiet you could hear the fetal monitor beeping. Mary's eyes went down, telling me that she was already used to his behavior, which made my blood boil. I caught the eye of Jennifer, the nurse checking the IV drip, who looked like she was about to throw him out the window herself. I stepped into the hallway to check on lab results, but really to keep myself from strangling him, and found half the nursing staff huddled by the nurse's station talking in furious whispers. Is someone causing trouble in room 304? Asked Patricia, our head nurse for 20 years, and I nodded while Jennifer emerged behind me saying, he just told her that her screaming was embarrassing him in front of the doctors. During transition, the break room suddenly filled with every nurse who wasn't actively with a patient, and Hannah, who usually never got involved in drama, slammed her coffee down and said, we need to get him out of there. I explained that I'd already suggested Mary should have security remove him, but she'd refused, saying, he'll only make things even more difficult if I kick him out. You don't understand what he's like when he's angry. Hannah scrunched her face with disgust. Ugh, I hate men like him. Someone in the back said, she deserves better during her delivery. That's when Lisa from NICU spoke up. What if we send him to the psychiatric ward? Tell him there's urgent paperwork there for the birth certificate. You know how agitated people get when they can't find their way out of that locked unit. The room absolutely erupted with everyone high-fiving Lisa. You beautiful genius. He'll lose his mind trying to get out. Patricia's eyes lit up with understanding. And if he gets aggressive with the staff there, yep, they'll put him on a 72-hour hold. I finished, and the room went electric with possibilities. Someone asked, ladies, are we sure we want to make her give birth without her husband there? And I immediately responded, she'll be better off without him. Trust me, I've seen enough to know she needs peace more than she needs him. We quickly huddled together like we were planning a heist, ready to give this guy a taste of his own medicine. Jennifer walked back into room 304 with a clipboard, her face perfectly professional. Mr. Grant, there's an issue with your insurance. You need to sign an override form immediately or they'll bill you $30,000. Grant shot up from his chair, muttering about incompetent staff. Where? He snapped. 5th floor. They handle all insurance disputes there. The elevator doesn't work, so you'll have to take the stairs. Follow the signs for Unit 5B. Mary looked at me in confusion, and I winked, signaling her not to interrupt as Grant left the room. 20 minutes later, as Mary was still thanking me for making Grant leave, my phone buzzed with a text from Lisa's friend in psych. He's here, and he's furious. Apparently Grant had stormed up to the locked reception desk, exhausted from having to climb so many stairs, and demanded she hurry up with the insurance form. The receptionist, who was in on our plan, playing dumb, kept asking for his patient ID bracelet. I'm not a patient, he roared. She'd buzzed him through the first security door to speak with billing, but once inside, he found himself in a maze of locked corridors. For 15 minutes, he'd been yanking on doors, each one requiring a keycard he didn't have. His face went from red to purple as he realized the exits were all magnetically sealed. When he started pounding on the reinforced glass, James, a patient who thought of himself as a security guard, grabbed Grant's arm saying, sir, you're disturbing the peace. Grant shoved him hard into a medication cart, sending pills flying everywhere. Real security arrived in seconds, finding Grant red-faced and shouting while James cowered in the corner. All right, sir, let's get you back to your room before you hurt yourself, the guard said, reaching for Grant's arm. I'm not a patient. I'm not insane. Don't touch me. The female security guard, who Jennifer had filled in earlier, looked him dead in the eye and said, sir, you need to calm down and stop making such a scene. Even our worst patients don't make this much noise. The sheer disbelief on Grant's face as she put him in restraints was poetry. While Mary gave birth peacefully, Grant got stuck with a mandatory 72-hour evaluation, completely oblivious to the fact that the birth certificate was signed without him.